Hey everyone, today it looks like we finally got some beneficial rain here in northern Maine, and this is definitely going to help with the drought conditions and all the stressed out and dying trees we got. Today we're out looking around because there is some isolated flooding because the ground has been baking for the past month or two with hardly any rain. Now that we suddenly got a good couple inches, the rain can't be absorbed easily, so all the river beds of the small streams and stuff, they're flooding. Big rivers, not yet. But it looks like we have a gigantic flood up here. I've been traveling this road for probably 3-4 years, and I always knew this road would flood in the right situation, but I've never been able to time the spring thaw perfectly to come out here since the terrain and elevations are so vastly different. But it looks like there's a gigantic flood up here. We're gonna see what we can do about it. So they have basically a really big river valley here and a tiny little culvert. I imagine we'll be able to drive through this water, but it looks like it's possibly crossing. You see, this road is so steep, it's got numerous water bars. We got to keep slowing way down. You come on this road in the springtime, you can hear a beautiful chorus of peeping tree frogs. It happens every spring. See, this road is quite a mess. Lots and lots of potholes. And yes, the road is flooded out. We're gonna step out of the vehicle, see exactly what's wrong here. I assume the ground's stable, but we're gonna confirm that by walking out there first. All right, everyone, we just waited for one vehicle to pass. It doesn't look that deep. There's a good amount of frogs out here. And this area is so flooded that it's actually backed up to a big, substantial culvert. There is a small culvert here that I remember in the past I made fun of. But it appears that there's a much bigger culvert up here that we're gonna go look at. There's a good amount of bullfrogs out here. The land here just couldn't handle this, but let's see what we got for a blockage. The culvert will be right here, the bigger one. There is a smaller one here at the dip in the road. Sometimes people ask me, why do they put the culvert up here? How come they don't put it at the lowest spot? The first reason is they don't want to change the natural flow of the river because man-made erosion control is not cheap, to put it simply. Yeah. This is a beaver. Yes, that's definitely beavers. Beaver's gonna be angry, but this has got to be brought down a little bit before it washes out the road. And here's another culvert here. There's two big culverts and a ton of water. Look at the size of the culverts. Would you have believed they were that big on the other side? Once we get a little bit of current flowing through one of them, that should help us tear apart the dam. We're gonna get at least one of these things open today. Beaver's gonna be angry. All right, everybody, we're all geared up. It's actually becoming misty and drizzly again, which is very nice because recently we had this heat wave that seemed to just be across the entire planet. And Maine, the average temperature for this area is 76 in July. This year it was 91, which is a massive shock. It shocked everything. The drought and heat combined really messed things up. We got a dash camera right now doing a time lapse of the road. We're gonna keep the vehicle down there. This place, the trappers have to come out here. See, these beavers are so fresh. It's not beneficial here. They need to be dealt with. move them somewhere where they can actually create beneficial water storage. There could be a good 1,000,000 gallons of water here behind this 4-foot beaver dam that we got to get rid of. All right, everyone, here we go. We're going to start unblocking this. It might be hard at first. Can I get down here anywhere? Well, the beaver dam doesn't seem to be that structural, so maybe we'll have some good luck. I hope I don't have to flood my boots, because this is not a good angle for pulling. Let's see how far down I can get. Yeah, that's not good. Trying to find the bank of this. I might end up flooding these things. I might. We'll start off slow, I guess. I hear it, we're moving a bit better. These beavers put rocks in here too. All right, we're gonna try this one more time. So I am gonna be forced to flood my boots. I didn't want to flood the waders because that's much worse. To be working in those wet for the rest of the time I'm out here. Gonna have to flood these. I need a better angle. Oh. It's cold at first, but not that bad. Hopefully an angry beaver isn't around. The excavator damage really helped them build this, and it's slowing me down too. This is all super fresh. They just built this probably in the past day because of the recent rain. Oh wow, this culvert is so messed up. Yeah. We're starting to get some current. All right, there is so much excavator damage in there. cutting capacity, I can't really do much more on this. We're gonna go to the next culvert, which is only 10 feet away. Try to do better there. Here's the situation. The culvert's bent, as you can see, all the way in, on that side, all the way that way. It's almost impossible to get this junk off under these extreme pressures of water. So, look at my boots. There's so much water in them, and they even, my pants are even holding. Look at that, bubbles of water. So we're gonna walk over here to the next culvert and see if we can do anything here at this culvert. Hopefully this one isn't mangled like that other one. It is mangled, but it looks like a better situation to me. This one's more of a by hand job to be easier. Oh. I'll throw everything up on top until we get enough water to actually pull. Oh, these beavers. They're not messing around. Look at this thing. I can't get it out of here. I'm gonna end up falling back. Whew. I'm stuck. Can't get this rake out of here. There we go. I'm gonna have to take a bath in here when I'm done. It's getting pretty mucky. Oh, I really don't like this stick, as you guys can probably tell. All right, just so everyone knows, this culvert right now, I cannot be in front of it. And at this sideways angle, the water's so powerful, it's trying to push this in. It's actually making my hands a bit sore fighting this current, because I don't want to get sucked into this thing. There's a lot of sharp, twisted metal from the excavator. But the beaver dam, if you see me right here, this beaver dam's like this big, this far in front of the culvert, and I'm slowly raking it away while I got a lot of power to do so. When I got in, the water was actually pretty warm, just the surface. Now that I'm pulling water from the depths, it's getting pretty cold here. But I would choose this any day over a heat wave. Let's take a moment and see if the street is starting to clear yet. Now this right here is the reason why I will never get chest waders. If they somehow get filled, even though they're not supposed to be like that, you won't be able to get out of the water. And it could be really bad. Even these boots weigh me down. It's almost impossible to walk with my hip waders on if they flood. So, we're just taking a brief break. There's a lot of velocity right here going into the culvert. We have it about halfway open, I'd say, at this point. So there is a very old beaver dam down there, which is very tough to pull apart. The upper half is all brand new material. So I think there was a small beaver pond here for a long time. These past couple days of very wet, it gave them the perfect opportunity. They ripped down so many trees, they probably made this thing flood in a matter of hours one night. Water's actually pretty clear. I can see right to the bottom. Let me give you a little sneak peek of inside. Yeah, it's very powerful. Let's see what the road is doing at the moment. Road is actually getting a lot better. Check out the other side. A lot more current than when we started. And check out all those awesome suds. Those are pretty cool. That's organic material that causes that. It's breaking down in the swamp. And all this agitation of the water and rapids is stirring it up. Somewhere downstream, if there's something blocking the path, that'll pile up into many feet tall of suds. But this water is beneficial. It's going down to the lake, which is probably like 5 feet low from this year's drought. It can do a lot more good down there than it can up here, washing out the road. The road actually looks like it has stopped crossing, but there's still a bunch of it in the lane towards the beaver swamp. Let me go give you guys a quick look at that. All right, everyone, we just waited for one vehicle to pass. It doesn't. All right, everyone, you just saw what it looked like before. Here's what it looks like after. The water is barely crossing the street anymore. And it will be completely out of here probably in the next half hour. Water levels are on the downfall. What we did today will get this to fall about 2 feet, which is well off the road, away from causing damage. We're gonna mark this as a problem location, and hopefully road crews will get to it once they see the report in, and I'm gonna put markings up here on the side of the culverts, which means there's a problem, and it'll have to be completed possibly with heavy machinery. Oh, look at that. It's a crayfish in the middle of the road. And we gotta get you out of here. Come on. Don't pinch me, don't pinch me. don't pinch. There's a big log truck coming. I can hear it. All right, he's good. Didn't want him to get crushed. I hear it up there. It's loud. It may be another 5 minutes before the truck even shows up. Those things are loud. All right, so the first culvert that we started on was a no-go. The excavator damage is too bad. This is what can happen when you are using the wrong bucket on the excavator. Now that the water's dropped off a few inches, let's see if we can get back in here and show you exactly what's wrong. You see that crinkled metal in the middle? On both sides, evenly crinkled. It goes out to a point that kind of looks like a bow of a ship. If the deck wasn't there. That could be picked apart and opened a bit. Once it's not under pressure. You can see here, we definitely dropped off quite a bit. This one's crinkled with damage, but it's pretty open. This is a 4-foot culvert. We got at least half of it open. This whole area is gonna drop back about 2 feet. It's good that the forest here got a big soaking, but don't be tricked by that. Wait, that may have actually been crossing too at some point today. They build roads like this on purpose. They want it to cross further down the street or further back there because they don't want to have to put the culverts back in. It's a lot more damage if the culvert's at the lowest spot, because once the water starts going over the crown of the road, it'll wash out the whole thing, including their expensive culvert pipes. So it's designed to flood away from the culvert pipes to prevent that from happening. Those suds coming out of this culvert are so cool. Let's get a look down there inside this culvert. Ooh, a spider friend. It's never an adventure without spiders. Wow, those suds look awesome. Awesome. All right. We'll be heading back through this area in a couple of days. By then, the beavers will have this thing completely plugged up again. Don't be tricked. Just because we got these couple inches of rain and this is starting to flood doesn't mean we're in the clear yet for the drought. This is definitely helping the trees, but our rain deficit is a lot. A couple inches only made this flood because the ground everywhere is baked and it can't absorb it well. At least not yet. Is that thunder or is that a big truck? I'm not sure. All right, everybody, it's been about another 5 minutes since I last walked down there. The water's now completely off the road. Like I said, give it 20 minutes, a half an hour, it'll be completely receded back into the drainage ditch. All right, everybody, we just put some flaggings up so nobody gets hurt on this, because I do suspect this will flood again before work crews can get to it. You see I put markers on that log, which really is visible from far away, and on the other side. That will alert people of the flood here and any hazards that could be underneath it, even though they should be able to see the flood. But the thing is, some roads, depending on how they're built, I don't know how this road is built far under. It could become very, very soggy if it was flooded for days on end, and you could sink into it and get stuck, especially a big truck that's fully loaded. And I put 4 markers up here surrounding the culvert pipe. That will tell work crews that there is a problem there. Next time they come by, if it's not flooding, they will still check it out because it's marked. And they'll be able to find the location easier once it's reported. Very bumpy road, but that's the fun in it. All right, everybody, I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. here. Look at this big pothole full of water. I'm gonna go through this slowly. That pothole's been there for years. This road hasn't been graded in a long time. I remember the first time I went through that, I got out because I wanted to make sure it wasn't too deep. There's a few inches of mud in the bottom of it, but it's still pretty strong. Look at this, this tree's been in the road such a long time that everyone goes around it. These potholes have been here so long, people just hug the edge like this to get the smoothest part of the road. I just wanted to show you guys where the water eventually ends up that comes from that culvert we unclogged. It eventually finds its way here to this really large lake. As you can see, the drought may have made these little swamps all go back to normal and rivers all look normal. But this, there's supposed to be water here solid up to the road. That's a good, I'd say, 15, 20 feet of elevation loss right here. It's gotta be. Look out there, a lot of Canada geese. And as you see here, we got a good flow. I'm hoping these past couple days of rain will put a giant dent in this drought. It's definitely helping water levels. But we, again, only got 2 inches. The reason all these rivers and streams are back to normal and flooding, that is because the ground is really stiff. It can't absorb things after a drought suddenly like this unless the rain is really gradual over time. Yep, it's going in really nice. I remember we unclogged this culvert last year too. Good amount of water. But today might be nice and 60 degrees and drizzly, just like yesterday. But this upcoming weekend, we're gonna be back up to 87 degrees, which is still way above normal for this year. Usually the average temperature in July for the area is 76. This year, July was 91. That combined with the drought is what made conditions look so bad. We're now back here only 1 day later. Most of the rivers and streams have now started dropping back. But this reservoir here, as you can see, where those Canada geese were yesterday, it has gone up at least a couple feet. Alright everyone, we have just returned back to our flooded area and it looks like the beavers have done it again. They completely blocked this thing again overnight. So let's see what they did. Let's pull over right here. See what's going on. Take a look at all that groundwater up on the hill trickling out. Yep, the beavers have done it again. It hasn't even been 24 hours since we were here. That's actually really satisfying to watch that. Once you drive through it and see the flow just carry it away and it turns crystal clear again. So this is a lot of water here. And that's putting a lot of pressure on this roadway. I wouldn't be surprised if it's trickling under here. Hopefully it's built well enough that it doesn't cause a washout. They'll get to it eventually, but take a look at this. Beavers threw brand new debris in there. We just had this cleared yesterday. And just to put into perspective of how deep this water is, you could literally make a giant cannonball right there. These are not tiny culverts at all. If I can get down here and show you how big these things are. See that? It's a good 4-foot culvert. It might even be a 5-footer. So these culverts here, they've always had a blockage on them. And the reason we were never able to completely clear them in years past is because, well, I've never made a video of them in years past, but that's because there's a gigantic tree down there occupying the bottom 2 feet. So what we did yesterday was probably the most we can do. Beavers are just going to keep plugging this thing back up. You see, a situation like this, you just gotta say enough is enough. And you gotta wait until the trapper has done his job and then come back out and take care of it. Because I could come out here, I could unclog this thing every single day until every tree around here is completely cut down by the beavers. They will not give up. And this pond's big. It probably floods all the way through that forest. This area here, those trees here have feet of water. And they probably flooded this whole area in the past couple days. We have been in a really bad drought in New England. And up until the past 3 days, we've had no rain. And we have no rain now at all in the forecast. It's going to be very hot again starting tomorrow. But we got a good 3-4 inches of rain. It put a dent in the drought, but I think the drought might come back. So until the trapper does his job, this one's probably not going to be touched again. And hopefully an excavator operator can come out here and clear these and straighten this one back out, which is basically impossible to clear unless that metal is folded back out, or just a couple feet here could probably be cut off of this one. That one right there is good. It's crumpled a little bit, but it can be operated pretty well. These culverts are in pretty good condition. They could probably last another 10 years before replacement. But anyways, even when these things here are completely cleared, there's a couple feet of water there. So I'd say in the deepest spot of this little stream, which is what it usually is, there's a stream right here where there's a whole bunch of grass. If this water wasn't here under there that you'd see. If I zoom in right here, you can see there's a lot of grass under the water. That's flooded. That'll die probably. It'll probably drown in a week or so. Yep, I'd say there's a good 6 feet of water there. And that goes really far. Because it's going to get hot and dry again, this is probably not going to be flowing much more. As you see, there's only a couple inches flowing over the road. I'm sure the beavers are going to waterproof this even more, add a bunch of mud. This is just a rough fix. They're definitely going to still be working on it tonight, which means it's probably going to continue crossing the road. If they left it as is, it would stop because all the rivers are starting to slow down again. There's really only about an inch of water going over the crown of the road. That if this beavers weren't here, it would stop until the next rainstorm. But I just don't see that happening at the moment. But I told the road crews where the problem is. Told them I put a bunch of green tape here so they can easily find it. Hope this video was interesting, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Looks like coffee right here where there's not much current.